Tricky trees, you probably think last night's return to Europe was pure magic after 30 years in the wilderness, but hold your horses. Forest threw away a winning European comeback in the cruelest way imaginable. We're talking Igor Jesus bagging a brace to put us 2-1 up in Seville. Then Antony, yes, that Antony ripping our hearts out 5 minutes from glory. This ain't your average European hangover, Forest faithful. This is the gut punch that's got every Garibaldi-wearing fan asking, are we ready for this level, or are we still dreaming of miracles that slip through our fingers when it matters most? Forest faithful, who's your player of the season so far? Comment below and let's get the debate roaring like the city ground crowd. Right, let me break this down for you properly, because what happened at the Estadio La Cartuja last night wasn't just another match. It was a statement about where this club stands in 2025. After nearly 3 decades away from European competition, Forest walked into that Spanish heat carrying the weight of Brian Clough's legacy and the dreams of every supporter who's been waiting for nights like this. The season so far has been a mixed bag under Ange Postecoglou's revolutionary approach. We're sitting mid-table in the Premier League, which honestly isn't where any of us want to be, but the style of play has been breathtaking when it clicks. The goal difference tells a story we can score for fun, but we're still leaking goals like a rusty pipe. That defensive fragility showed up again last night, and it nearly cost us what should have been a famous victory. Let me paint the picture for you. Real Betis aren't mugs, they're a proper La Liga side with European pedigree. When Bakambu put them ahead after just 15 minutes, you could feel the nerves creeping in through your television screen. This wasn't the fairy tale start we'd all been dreaming about since the draw was made. But here's where the magic of this Forest side under Postecoglou really shines through. The character shown to fight back from that early setback was absolutely magnificent. Igor Jesus, remember that name, because he's going to be crucial to our European ambitions, showed exactly why we brought him in. 2 goals in 8 minutes, both showcasing different aspects of his game. The first was all about being in the right place at the right time, a proper poacher's finish after some brilliant build-up play involving Douglas Luiz and Elliot Anderson. The second was a towering header from a Douglas Luiz corner that had Cloughie himself nodding in approval from above. But wait, there's a twist coming that'll make your blood boil. See, this is where Forest's Jekyll and Hyde personality rears its head again. We can play the most beautiful football you've ever seen for 70 minutes, then completely lose our heads when the pressure mounts. Antony's equalizer 5 minutes from time wasn't just lucky, it was a direct result of our inability to manage the game when we're ahead. Zinchenko caught napping, letting a player who couldn't even get regular games at Manchester United ghost in for the simplest of finishes. The midfield battle was fascinating to watch. Douglas Luiz looked every inch the class act we hoped he'd be when we signed him, controlling the tempo and spraying passes like he's been playing European football his whole career. Elliot Anderson was absolutely sensational. The kid's got that rare combination of technical ability and physical presence that makes him perfect for these big European nights. But Sangare looked rusty, and in games like this where every touch matters, that rustiness nearly cost us dearly. Here's where it gets tricky though. The tactical setup from Postecoglou was spot on for the most part. Playing that high line against Betis' quick forwards was risky, but it allowed us to press them into mistakes and create those early chances for Jesus. The problem came in the final 20 minutes when legs started getting heavy and concentration levels dropped. You could see the Spanish heat taking its toll, and Betis' fresh legs from the bench made all the difference. Think we're ready to shock the league? Like, subscribe, and tell us who should start the next match in Garibaldi red. Let's talk about what this means for the bigger picture. 4 games without a win for Postecoglou. That's the kind of stat that has some fans starting to whisper doubts. But here's the thing, this European campaign is about so much more than just results. We've got Midtjylland at home next, then Porto at the City Ground, followed by trips to Sturm Graz and Utrecht. These are winnable games, but only if we can learn from what happened in Seville. The squad depth is going to be absolutely crucial. Seeing Ryan Yates come on for his European debut was emotional. The lad's played in all 5 professional leagues in England, and now he's gracing European competition. That's the kind of story that makes this club special. But we need more options, especially defensively, where Milenkovic's injury scare last night highlighted just how thin we are at the back. Financial fair play is still hanging over us like a storm cloud, which means Postecoglou can't just go out and buy solutions to every problem. We're going to have to be clever in the January window, maybe looking at loan deals or free transfers. The wage bill is already stretched, but European football brings in revenue that could give us some wiggle room. Remember the European glory days of '79 and '80? Those Forest sides weren't just talented, they were mentally bulletproof. They knew how to see games out, how to manage leads, how to kill matches when they needed to. This current crop has the talent to match those legends, but the mentality is still developing. Last night showed we can go toe-to-toe with anyone in Europe, but it also exposed the areas where we still need to grow. The atmosphere in Seville was electric, even with a relatively small traveling support. Imagine what nights at the City Ground are going to be like when Porto and the others come calling. Those old European nights under the lights are going to be special, and every Forest fan who can get a ticket needs to be there making noise. But here's where the concern creeps in. We've now dropped points from winning positions multiple times this season, and that's a habit that can destroy European campaigns before they even get started. The mental strength to close out games is something this squad desperately needs to develop, and they need to develop it fast. Looking ahead to the weekend, we've got Sunderland away in the Championship. Wait, sorry, that's not right. We're in the Premier League now, aren't we? Sometimes it still doesn't feel real. The fixture list is going to be brutal with European commitments, and squad rotation is going to be essential. Postecoglou's going to have to trust his fringe players, and they're going to have to step up when called upon. Forest Nation, let's paint the comments red dropper if you believe in a top 6 finish this year. The injury to Milenkovic last night could be a blessing in disguise if it forces Postecoglou to look at different defensive partnerships. Sometimes these forced changes can unlock combinations you never would have tried otherwise. The academy lads are champing at the bit for their chance, and European football might be the perfect stage for them to announce themselves. What really impressed me last night was how we adapted our pressing game to the European stage. The intensity was perfect for the first hour, disrupting Betis' rhythm and forcing them into mistakes. But that kind of pressing is exhausting, and you could see the players running on empty in the final stages. Learning how to manage that intensity over 90 minutes is going to be crucial for our European journey. The officiating last night was interesting too. Sasha Stegeman let a lot go, which suited our physical approach. But some of the decisions around penalty appeals and bookings could have gone either way. European referees have their own style, and our players are going to have to adapt quickly to different interpretations of the game. Douglas Luiz's performance deserves special mention. The Brazilian looked comfortable on the ball, even under pressure, and his delivery for Jesus' second goal was inch perfect. If he can maintain that level consistently, he's going to be the key to unlocking these European defenses. His experience in big games is invaluable for a squad that's still learning how to handle this level of competition. The substitutions tell a story too. Bringing on Kalimuendo and Ndoye changed our shape, but maybe not for the better. Sometimes Postecoglou's tinkering works brilliantly, but last night it seemed to disrupt our rhythm just when we needed to stay solid. That's the kind of learning experience that could be crucial in future European ties. Here's what's keeping me awake at night though, the pattern of late goals conceded. It's not just bad luck, it's a systematic issue with how we defend leads. Whether it's concentration, fitness, or tactical naivety, something needs to change or we'll keep throwing away points we can't afford to lose. The away support last night was magnificent. By the way, hearing those Forest songs echoing around a Spanish stadium after 30 years away from European competition was enough to bring a tear to your eye. Those fans deserve nights like this, and they deserve to see this team fulfill its potential on the biggest stage. If you bleed red and dream of another European night at the City Ground, tap that subscribe button and share this with fellow Forest fans. Bottom line, last night was a missed opportunity, but it wasn't a disaster. We showed we belong at this level, we showed we can create chances against quality opposition, and we showed character when things went against us. Now we need to show we can learn from our mistakes and turn these performances into victories. The European dream is alive, but it's hanging by a thread that we can't afford to let snap. What do you think, Forest faithful? Are we ready for this European adventure, or do we need to toughen up mentally before we can truly compete? Drop your thoughts below, because this is going to be one hell of a ride. And I want to hear from every single one of you who's been dreaming of nights like this since we last graced European competition 3 decades ago. Forest till I die, and European nights like this are exactly why we never stop believing. Come on, you tricky trees.